The prevalence of mental illness, as you can see here on this slide, 43.8 million adults experience mental illness in a given year. Out of the 270 million people, 300 million people, that's a huge number. But let's break it down even more. 1 in 20 US adults experience serious mental illness a year. 1 in 20, that's a lot. 1 in 6 US youth experience that mental disorder between the age of 6 and 17. 50% of all lifetime mental illness begins by age 14. 75% by age 24. We're going to be impacted. So what does that mental illness look like? How can we say, yes, I've experienced, or no, I don't know if I have experienced? The prevalence. There is OCD, 1.2%. Borderline personality disorder, 1.4%. Post-traumatic stress, you've heard that, PTSD, 2.8%. Schizophrenia, less than 1%. Bipolar, 2.8%. 8.3% depression, and 19.1% anxiety. Yes, anxiety falls into that category as well. So again, by way of an emoji or chat, how many of you have experienced the anxiety throughout certain periods of your life? And I know when I talk to accountants, they know from January till April, high level anxiety. Parents, the holiday season, high level of anxiety. So let me know if you have said, oh my gosh, I'm not at my best self. I used to be able to. Now I'm unable to. What is going on? When you pose those questions to yourself, you are experiencing a gap between your normal behavior and what's going on now that you can't put your thumb or finger on it. It's out there. As we looked at this graph, 42 million people are impacted by anxiety. That's when we feel overwhelmed. And yes, the multitasking, which really is no such thing. We do things in a simultaneous manner, but we can't split our brain to manage the left side or the right side. It all is part of one brain. So what we're doing here is saying we're going to experience it, but to what degree? And how can we best manage, not deal, not handle, not cope, but manage the fluctuation in the environment, external, or even internally. Even internally. Suicide is, as you can see on the screen, I put it out there, suicide. People attempting or completing that. Leading cause of death among young people between the age of 10 and 14. We see it in the social media, young people claiming their lives because they've been duped by AI or bullying in schools. And they're coming home to their parents or the dominant individuals in their life and say, what happened? How can I manage this? How can I manage this? And yes, sometimes we don't know what we don't know, but we still have to bring ourselves to that point of saying, I can explain what I know. And the more I become knowledgeable, I can help you. And that's what mental health aid, first aid, is about. Assisting, recognizing, and assisting. And yes, bullying in young folks, they experience, and they're not equipped to manage that. They don't know yet what they don't know. Take a look at this graph. As you can see, I loved how PTR had put it in perspective because we can see how it happens. 4 in 5, 1 in 2, and then the language that we tend to use. And interestingly enough, mental illness, there's a stigma associated with it, even though 42 million people experience. When there's a stigma that is associated with it, we may not have the courage to say, I need help. I need help. And it is okay to articulate that, because if you don't announce that you need help, how will we figure it out? The old woman or the young woman? How do we figure it out? So finding people to be able to assist in this environment is going to be difficult. Yes, in the hiring process, understanding how can we best assist people. And that's the word, assist them. We cannot cure them or heal them. We can only assist. And the best way to assist individuals is by being knowledgeable. I'm going to take a pause right here and go through some of the chats. Thank you very much for sharing the information via chat, because that's how I recognize that you are participating, involved, engaged, wanting to be aware. Yes, the stigmatism associated causes us to silence ourselves. And this is when we need to be more vocal. But maybe we don't know how to be vocal. Maybe we don't know how to identify what's going on with ourselves.